it is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you someone who I have had the privilege of working with very closely since the very beginning of my political career. You know, you meet people as you work in public service. And some people you click with immediately. The man that I speak of is a tall man. And that's what I affectionately refer to him as. He is our public advocate. And when I first got elected to the city council, we were part of a group of individuals, and I believe John Liu was a part of that as well, called the Fresh Democracy Council. And our job was to go into the system and shake it up, to undo the status quo so that our communities could get the benefit of a fresh and innovative look at how we govern ourselves as a city. And Bill de Blasio was there, but our relationship actually goes further back, because I had the distinct honor and privilege of working in a federal program called the Empowerment Zone. And this was a community development tool provided by the federal government to help rebuild Upper Manhattan and the South Bronx. And the man who headed that up in this region was our regional director for HUD, and that man was Bill de Blasio. He has been able to really apply himself in very special ways to the concerns of the communities across this city, whether it's the welfare and the well-being of our families, or it is pointing out how those who have benefited the most from charitable largesse of government owes a debt to the people of our city and our state. He has been a voice to go against the grain, to make sure that the consciousness of the people are raised. So ladies and gentlemen, he has been asked to be a guest speaker for us this evening. Won't you receive the public advocate for the city of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio.
If you look at all the strands running through history, if you look at the Garveyite movement, and you look at the political leaders who emerged in the Caribbean and also emerged here of Caribbean descent, if you look at the contributions to business, the contributions to culture, you see how deeply the Caribbean community has shaped the United States of America, and you see it nowhere more profoundly than in New York City. And what I see running through all that is an unwillingness to accept unfairness and stratification and division. The Caribbean community, to me, has always stood for tearing down walls of division and not accepting any status quo that doesn't serve us, because this is a strong and proud community. Now in New York City today, I always say we are living a tale of two cities, because there are disparities running through this city that are simply unacceptable, whether it's disparities in income, in education, in policing. They're not acceptable, and they won't take us forward. So I just want to remind you, as we enter this year of decision, and people are focusing on what is ahead for New York City, we don't have to continue the Bloomberg tradition. We don't have to continue a status quo that doesn't serve us. We have a chance this year to set things right. We have a chance to do things like demand of the wealthy that they pay their fair share in taxes too. Are you with me on that? Is it time for that? And I propose that the wealthy pay so that we can fix our schools, so we can have full-day pre-K for our children, every child in the city, so we can have after-school programs for children that will uplift them and change them and help them. There's no organization in this whole city that understands more about the power of early childhood education and has fought for it more than PDPA. And that has been the passion in Yvette Clarke's life. It's been a passion in Yvette Clarke's life. Well, you know what? Early childhood education should be a passion at City Hall too, because nothing's going to uplift us more. And that's what we have to focus on. Nothing will equalize more than early childhood education. And I always say, all of us, parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, we work so hard to make our children strong, to help them on the right path, to build their self-esteem. But right now in New York City, while we're doing all that, you know what's happening at the same time? Our young men in particular are having their dignity and their self-esteem undercut by the overuse of stop and frisk. With one hand, we lift them up, and then the policies of this city, with the other hand, take them right back down and treat them wrong. And we have to change it. Because you can't tell young people, do the right thing and obey the law, and there's prospects ahead, and there's a future ahead, and there's opportunity ahead. You can't tell them all that and then have them walk down their own street, abiding by the law, doing the right thing, and then confronted as if they're a suspect by an officer in uniform. That contradiction, that mixed message won't allow us to move forward. So this year in New York City, we have a chance to get the equation right. To do the uplifting, positive things like early childhood education and after school, and to end the overuse of stop and frisk, to make our children recognize that we will treat them with respect and we'll uplift them. We will never treat them as suspects. We'll treat them as our precious future. We can achieve that this year. With your help, we can achieve that this year. So I'll conclude by saying, again, I am so deeply thankful to PDPA. Every time we have gotten together, when we fought what was an uphill struggle to elect our Congresswoman in 2006, a lot of people said it could not be done. Yvette Clarke, remember those people said it could not be done? Just a few of them, right? Just a few. But PDPA knew better. When I ran for public advocate in 2009, people told me all the time it could not be done. But PDPA knew better. And this year, we're going to take back City Hall. Because when PDPA gets together, when you speak, when you organize, it moves this city. And I am so proud to have your support and be with you this evening. Thank you so much.